Network. This is Titans Talk.
Hey there, Titans Talk on your television. Steve Layman here with you. Glad you are here with us on this Monday night on NewsChannel 5. Plus, the Titans go down again yesterday, 25-23, on a last-second Robbie Gould field goal in San Francisco. And now, what was a team that was in first place and looked for all the world like it was locked into the playoffs just a couple of weeks ago, now is a real battle on their hands with 2 games left in the regular season. We want to get your take on what you saw yesterday in a game where the Titans started slow. The defense, which has carried them for much of the year, never seemed to get after Jimmy Garoppolo. That quick passing game of Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, he was 3 steps and get the ball out. And so the pass rush wasn't a factor yesterday with Logan Ryan out in the secondary. The defense really struggled to get off the field. They only got 1 stop all day long, 1 forced punt the entire day. Just difficult action for the Titans defense yesterday. Offensively, slow start in the first half. They picked it up right before halftime when they switched to no huddle. That was something that a lot of the Titans players talked about after the game, wanting to see more of. But I'm just not sure where the Titans are going to go with that. They don't want to be a strict no-huddle team. That gets predictable. You can't do as much out of it. But if they keep having these slow starts, they almost need to do something to get a jump start. And for the first time, you're starting to feel a little bit of that friction within what the offense is and has been and what some of the players want it to look like in terms of the no-huddle down the stretch of this season. We'll see what they come up with, but there's no question when they went to it yesterday, it paid huge dividends for them in that. 3 drives, starting with that drive right before halftime, at which point, by the way, the Titans had 2 3-and-outs, essentially. They had a 3-and-out, and then Delaney Walker fumbled on the other drive on the 3rd play. And then they had another field goal drive in there. So 3 possessions, 3 total points, 2 drives that you didn't take up any time in possession. You put your defense right back on the field in difficult spots at some points. It was not a good start offensively, but then they go to the no huddle, and over the next 3 possessions, they have 32 plays. They go for 225 yards and get 17 points on the board, which not just got them back in the game, it got them the lead in the game at that point. So what the Titans did in the no huddle is something to be excited about. It got them going. They only failed to score on 1 of their drives remaining the rest of the day. Marcus Mariota was good in the red zone. Those are all positive things. But again, the slow start puts you behind the 8 ball against a team, by the way, that was 3-10 going into yesterday's game. I know Jimmy Garoppolo has changed them completely. They've now won all 3 of his starts. He's looked phenomenal. But that's still a 3-10 football team. And if you're a team that has designs of going to the playoffs and doing anything once you're there, you've got to go on the road and win that game. And the Titans didn't yesterday. But they battled back. They put themselves in position. What happens in the 4th quarter? The offense takes the lead, and the defense, which has carried them much of this year. I mean, a lot of this year when the offense has struggled, the defense has been the one that would come up with the big stop or come up with the turnover or get the 3-and-out. And then allow the offense to make a play. Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Cleveland. It's been the defense that's carried the day, and the offense finally makes a play to help them win. Well, yesterday the offense gets its butt in gear, and the Titans are rallying, and they get back, and they take the lead in the 4th quarter, and the defense can't make the play. The Titans get the lead, and immediately it's a huge play. It's a huge play given up in the passing game. I think it was 41 yards to Garrett Selleck, the tight end. The Titans had significant issues defending the 49ers tight ends all day yesterday. They drive down the field. Adoree Jackson has a chance to make a play that may have won the game. He had his hands on an interception in the end zone. He couldn't come down with it. The 49ers end up getting a field goal to take the lead. Well, then the Titans offense does its job, comes right back down the field and gets the field goal to go ahead with 1:07 left, but there's still time on the clock. They give the ball back to Jimmy Garoppolo. And Garoppolo drives the 49ers down the field. 3 big chunk plays right away, consecutive completions. They get down in range, and Robbie Gould hits a 45-yard field goal as time expires as the 49ers win 25-23. So now, 10 days after they left, Titans departed from Nashville on December the 8th for this 2-game West Coast road trip. When they left, they were sitting at 8-4 and leading the AFC South in a virtual tie with Jacksonville, but they had the tiebreak in hand because of their win in Jacksonville earlier this year. That Week 17 game looked like a real showdown here in Nashville. 10 days later, they came back home early this morning after losing both of those games at Arizona and at San Francisco. And now they're an 8-6 team. The division is all but lost. Jacksonville now 10-4. They would have to lose this weekend at San Francisco themselves. And the Titans would have to beat the Rams, who've got 10 wins, to set up a Week 17 matchup, which the Titans would have to win over the Jags in order to win the division. That's the only possibility now left for the Titans to win the division. So the bigger key now is figuring out how to win a game here to get yourself in to the dance. I mean, remember, this is a Titans team that has not been to the playoffs since 2008. It has been 9 long years. And here seemed to be a golden opportunity for them. And now with these back-to-back losses on the road, those chances are left in peril. The Titans are still sitting there as the 5th team in the AFC playoff picture. But there's now 3 teams tied at 8-6. That 2-game lead a couple of weeks ago is completely gone now. It's the Titans, the Bills, and the Ravens all sitting there at 8-6. The Titans do have the conference record, and they've got the head-to-head against the Ravens. So they're still in a good tiebreaker position there. The Bills have to play the Patriots this weekend, so that's a difficult game for them, but the Ravens are going to be favored in their final 2 games. There's a great chance the Ravens are going to finish 10-6. Pretty good chance the Bills are going to finish 9-7. Now, if they're 9-7 and the Titans are 9-7, the Titans are going to get in. And the other teams that are kind of in the mix there, the Titans would probably get in over them off of tiebreaker scenarios and conference record as well. But notice the common denominator there. They're going to have to win somewhere here. You can't lose out and get in. You're not going to back your way in unless a lot of crazy things happen like that. So if you're the Titans sitting here at 8-6 after back-to-back losses, you've got to get a win. Whether it's St. Louis this weekend or Jacksonville in the final game, you've got to get a win. And you can't count on one of them to sort of tank a game because of where they are. The Rams playing for playoff position, playing for seeding, playing to officially wrap up that division. The Jags, at this point, still haven't wrapped up the division. Even if they do it this weekend, though, they're probably playing for playoff seeding in that final week of the season. So unlikely that they walk in here just willing to lay over, especially against the division rival. I don't think the Jags particularly want the Titans to be in the playoffs, especially since they might have to play them depending on how it winds up. So I don't expect either of these teams to walk in here and sort of take the day off and maybe hand the Titans a win like the Texans did last year in Week 17 when the Titans beat them up in that game that ultimately meant nothing after the loss in Jacksonville. So you're going to have to go out there and prove it. They've talked all along about being a playoff team and getting over that hurdle and taking that next step as a franchise. Well, after the last 2 weeks, there's no backing in. For the people who wondered if this team was good enough when they were squeaking by the Browns and squeaking by the Colts or the Texans. And they kept piling up the wins. It was 6 wins in 7 weeks there. But it didn't look pretty. For the people who wondered if they were for real and if they actually deserve to be a playoff team, we're about to find out. Right now, it doesn't look like they are. Right now, they don't look like a playoff team. But they have the chance to now prove us all wrong. These two games at home against the Rams, the team that's going to win the NFC West, against the Jaguars, the team that's probably going to win the AFC South. These are two playoff teams. These are two 10-win teams already. You have the chance to prove that you belong these 2 weeks. Win a game and you're likely in. Win 2 games and you make people forget about what happened these last 2 weeks on the road. That is the pressure that is on the Titans right now. My question to you is, after what you've seen, what is your confidence level that the Titans can come home and that a little home cooking and the ability to sleep in your own bed at night and be in your own facility can help them turn it around? What confidence do you have that they can go out there and compete with the Rams or compete with the Jaguars here in the final couple of weeks? And what were the takeaways you had yesterday watching that game in Santa Clara against the 49ers? 737-7767 is our number. We want to hear from you tonight here on Titans Talk. We'll take our first break, back with much more Titans talk after this here on News Channel 5+.